Hey YouTube, today we're going to do the block off plate for the fuel pump. The 350 up until 1981 was carbureted and it had a fuel pump on the block itself. In 82 we switched over to crossfire fuel injection, then they put an electric pump in the tank. So we still have the hole in the block for the fuel pump, so we could switch back over to carburation pretty easily. However, there's a block off plate on there and it tends to leak like everything else. The car's 40 years old. So we're going to go ahead and change out that plate, the gasket. So let's take a look at that and see what we need to do. All right, there's the block off plate. All right, so I got that gasket area all cleaned up. So this morning we'll go ahead and put that plate back on. So I've got the plate here. Just put a little smudge around it. If the crossfire ever went bad on us, we could always just put a intake and a carburetor on here and run this fuel line right to this fuel pump up to a carburetor, and just stop using the electric fuel pump. Put a little Loctite on this one bolt. Because it's a stud. So I'll put Loctite on that. I'm going to do the same thing on there's a couple studs on the intake bolts that I'll do the exact same thing on. Reason being is every time I try to take off these outer nuts to get the brackets out of the way, the stud ends up spinning out instead of this other bolt loosening up. So kind of makes it tough to work with. Let's see if I can. So I'm just torquing these down to 20 foot-pounds. There we go. All right. So now we got the fuel pump block off back on there. I got a new gasket there. I got to drop the oil pan, to put the timing case cover back on. We'll do the oil pan and rear main seal next, and then we'll go from there. All right, thanks YouTube.